Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to show you what we can still harvest in later December.
Texas weather. You never know if you're on a drought or if a cold spell kills all your tender plants. This winter has been a treat. Our gardens bursting with life, from classic vegetables to some seriously weird ones. We are harvesting fresh flavors almost all season long, so I invite you to come with us on a tour of our garden and see what's growing in the East by West Farms garden in late December.
This big bush over here are Hong Cai Tais. This is a plant that you only get for winter, and I ate a lot of them when I grown up. You harvest the wrapper, not the leaves, and they're very sweet and soft. It's really hard to describe. If you think of gailan, it's much softer version of gailan. The problem for this plant is that it needs cold weather to bolt, and that's when we harvest the wrapper. But we have a very warm winter so far. It's almost like tomato leaves. It's huge, and they are just start to bolting. What I need is to harvest the wrapper and then reduce the leaves somewhat, so that it has room to shoot up more wrapper. And usually, if I do it right, I can keep it growing for the whole winter and continue harvest the wrapper from this plant. When I harvest the wrapper, I basically just go down and cut something like this. In winter, when it's weather really cool, this should get bigger, but that's about pencil size is what I'm looking for. And because the leaves are so big, I actually have to really dig down. So that's another one. Here I have some fava beans that start to blooming, and the bees are really liking it, because right now around this time there are not many things are blooming. That is our winter crop. There are some peanuts that all dried up. Okay, let's see how many. So that's one plant of peanuts. See how much peanuts I got from just one plant. So I will have roasted peanuts for winter. And the nice thing with peanuts is, like when I pull it out, there are probably still some left in the ground. So next year I don't need a plant anymore. They will just self-sprout. So here's another one. Let me get it. This one is even more. That's another one. So it's such a nice plant to have in your garden, because they just keep giving. This is just from one plant, and I got quite a handful of peanuts. The rest is in here, so it's a nitrogen fixer, so it will get nitrogen in the soil, and it just keep coming every year, and it's pretty drought tolerant, so it's perfect for our hot and the dry summer. These over here are beets. I actually have never had beets before I had the garden. Maybe I have beets in the restaurant, and I think they were pickled and didn't know that the sweetness actually come naturally. I like to try new things, so I decided to plant them in my garden, and I really like it. This one is ready to harvest. I planted this in early fall, I got something that is big enough to harvest. Looks like that's beautiful. It has a very sweet taste, and also I like the green. Also, it tastes like collard, and it gives you a beautiful color for your food. So I have one more over here. So I planted them too dense. This could get a little bit bigger, but I have two more plants that need space to grow. So I can harvest now and then give the room for these three to grow. So I can harvest them through winter. They are winter hardy also. These are purple bok choy. They are okay. I actually like the green bok choy better, but it does leave the color because, of course, you want to make sure your diet have different color as well, because different color indicate different minerals in the plants. Our warm fall or winter haven't been helpful. This one, it's the ones on the side are really not very healthy looking. I can just peel this off because they're kind of getting old. And then just leave a few on the top, and then it will come back. This one looks better, so I probably can get a few. So the older one, I throw them away, but I can harvest the good-looking ones. I can have a plant that keep producing, that it will keep just grow out, and then I harvest it. And winter, of course, is a perfect time to grow radish and daikon radish. So I just found this big one over here that is ready to harvest. You can eat the radish green as well, but since we have so many greens this year, so I probably will just use it as a fertilizer. But the radish definitely is something that I really like. Look at that. So we have a very dense soil. It's nice to, now that I can grow some radish, you can see that the roots is kind of so funky, that because it's trying to dig into the dense black clay soil. So it's a very nice cover crop for soil conditioning, especially if you have very dense clay soil. So I like to pickle the radish, or I can dry them and dry it, and it's very flavorful to cook with meat. So I have mustard green everywhere, but I see there's a gailan or kohlrabi is growing out, so let me pour this out so that we need rain, and I think we get some rain this afternoon. So I just cut the mustard green as green mulch or green fertilizer for the kohlrabi to grow. This beautiful yellow flower here, you can tell it's a brassica. It's actually a yu cai tai. This is another plant that like cold weather. So the problem is our winter is too warm. I don't think if I keep harvesting the rapa, it will survive much. So I decided to just let it go to seeds. Once these seed pods mature, probably will be like later January, February, I can just drop them and that will be our spring crop. I hope we will have better luck in spring to get more of the wrapper out of this. And the bees really like it. So that is basically the idea, just for the bees, even that would be worth it. Another plant over here, that is the gailan you get from Chinese stores. This is also a cold hardy plant that I harvest the wrapper from. They need to have more leaves, but for this plant, I may just let it go to seeds and get seeds for the spring crop. This patch over here, I have a few Bok Chois. So I've been harvesting from the side, and this one started over there, and they just keep growing like a tree. So I can just keep harvesting from the side and get napa cabbage for my dinner. When the weather really cools, it also will shoot wrapper, which I also like very much for cooking. If the leaves are too old, I just drop it to let it be fertilizer. It's kind of still warm, so I can see that there's some warm hole, but we're not using any spray or anything like that, so that's kind of unavoidable. In this video, I showed you what we can still harvest in later December. We haven't had a very cold winter yet. By planting some of the cold hardy plants, we will be able to continue to harvest fresh vegetable through the winter. I got some hong cai tai and some wrapper from the brassica family. I got this huge radish and beets. So gardening in Texas is challenging, but if you plant accordingly and trying to grow with the season, you could still have plenty of harvest in winter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.